Hey
That's
there,
what I
everybody.
want to see for this trade, Derlin, for long. I don't know what you're
So,
looking
just gonna give
for.
you a little sample. And RP is live right now. He's
Yeah,
only
so
got a few
you're
minutes
also looking
left,
for
I'm
long,
sure.
so great, yeah. So,
But I'm gonna
and
show
this
you
is
what we're
going with
doing
the
here.
trend.
So I'm
So
gonna
this is
pop
a
open
good
a
way to
chart.
trade, as you can see.
RP is
Pretty
session
nice,
is live here. He's looking at
you
CAD yen.
bull run
So I'm
here,
gonna do
and we can
CAD
definitely get in on this.
yen. Right.
Morning, Igor, what's up? Um,
Oh hey, how's it going, brother?
so yeah, right now,
He has no
sellers are
idea I'm
kind of
doing
just
this. It's
driving it
great.
back up. I do just want a retrace of some sort,
Got Jet
maybe
B's on
from
the 1
here to
hour.
here. But I just want us to revisit
This is exactly what
83.525
RP is
one more
looking at.
time and get that rejection. And that's what I mean by rejection is that
You can follow
after
along,
you
right?
break a level, the rejection candle, the body should close above that wick. That's a confirmation of continuing momentum. So that's CAD yen. I think I'm being sick again. I want to
Nice.
talk about crude oil and gold. So, gold was a pending setup, and
Let's pop
remember,
open
remember
Bloomberg
I
here.
was telling you
Everywhere.
guys,
These are all
please do
things that
not
you sort
use
of
sell
anticipate
stops.
from every
Do not
company
use them.
nowadays, but it's
And
actually
so
slow
this
adoption.
setup for gold
How will the other banks follow
was
suit?
initially
Will
here
they
on
take Goldman's lead?
Tuesday's session. Okay, actually Monday's session we analyzed it, and Tuesday we said a break below 1472 would take us lower. And on Tuesday's session, I told you guys that, hey, don't use sell stops because you can see price wicked all the way to 1470.5 and then continued going up. And this is what happens when you use sell stops. You're gonna get burnt. This is why the candle closure is always important for verifying a trade setup. And I can't stress it enough. Please do not use pending limits.
Nice work, RP. Nice work.
A last resort if you have to. But when you don't need to, and that's probably 90% of the time, don't do it. So because this happened today, this happened yesterday, and look what happened today. Gold once again wicked below 1472 and wicked back up. So you can see where our stop loss is. Here we would have got stopped out. Here we got stopped out. That's two trades lost on gold if you use sell limits. So that's why always wait for that bearish closure. In yesterday's session, I talked about what a bearish closure is. I pretty much talk about it in every session, but make sure you watch yesterday's session in particular where I kind of show examples. And this setup is still valid. This resistance is holding pat. So that's a good sign for us, but I think this impeachment inquiry is really just driving these 1 hour candles. This is 50 pips one way in 1 hour. This is almost 100 pips in 2 hours, and so it's pretty chaotic right now, but that's the type of day it is and the type of week it will be. So yeah, well, not the type of week it will be because it's going to be
Nice.
pretty quiet, but the impeachment inquiry really spiked things up. But that's an update on gold. It's still pending. Euro is still pending. And crude oil, another similar example of why bearish or bullish closures are important and not just the actual price point. So here is crude oil, and during yesterday's session, I talked to you guys about a daily candle closing above these levels, and the level in particular
Just matching
was
up
these
what RP is
previous
doing,
highs,
kind of.
right? You want a
Except I'm setting
bearish,
pivot points.
a bullish
It's
candle
kind of
closure.
doing the same thing, but
And
not
if you
really.
look on the 4 hour, we're currently
Pretty much the
right
same
at that
thing.
level, but we did not get it during yesterday's session. So I'm just trying to. I hate how TradingView doesn't auto scale, but this was yesterday's session where the idea was given. So you can see this was the break of the level, right? Resistance is here. This was the break of resistance. Price went as high as 61.04 per barrel. And then these candles just retested. What we wanted from, this was a retest. Maybe, any of these rejection candles, the body should have closed above this wick. It's that simple. Now looking to the left, we can see once again, we have no body closure above this level right here. The end of this wick, there's zero body closure that's bullish above this level, and that's why this long setup,
Nice.
although it is still valid, it has not become activated. And once again, please do not use pending orders,
Forming.
especially when you don't have to, because you can get burnt. Because if you used it here, you're probably gonna get burnt because it might go lower. Who knows? You might get lucked out and it might continue to go up, but you always want to be safe. Just a quick reminder: the final target for crude oil is.
Sorry for
around
sipping my coffee here.
63.00, so pretty awesome.
That's going to keep
and
them
the CAD data
competitive.
should help. You can see the reaction from earlier. So maybe it does start to play out, but half the week's already over. And with that
true.
being said, I'm gonna look at some crypto, just because that's what we're gonna be doing now. And people like to see crypto. And then it's a nice change of pace. And then we're gonna talk about how to actually trade a trend line break and get a setup out
Nice.
of it and not get faked out. So let's look at crypto. The ones we focus on right now, unless you guys have other recommendations, is Bitcoin and Tezos. And so Bitcoin. So yesterday Bitcoin. Yikes! Bitcoin went to our first target. Cool.
Hey, that was this morning.
Perfect.
I was there.
Perfect. Daily time
Perfect.
frame. This is how we usually analyze Bitcoin. And yesterday's session, we were somewhere here. We were pretty much close to 6,800, which is our first target. Our next one was 6,500, and we went to our exact level was 6,520. We went to as low as 6,425, and currently, we have some rebounding, printing an indecision candle. So Bitcoin still looks pretty good. The daily could obviously be better. Might just be a minor retrace. We'll see what the fibs talk about, but this level is so important, man. You can see just the type of reaction, huge reaction from this level, and
That volume bar,
it
right?
just goes to show you that our levels aren't arbitrarily chosen; they're methodically chosen, and this could also be due to the impeachment inquiry. So I do think that if the impeachment inquiry goes through and Trump is quote-unquote impeached today and the case passes to Senate, we may see a rise in Bitcoin, just because he's been an avid hater of Bitcoin, and the dollar will probably see momentary weakness, and so crypto prices may drive up.
Uh-oh.
And we may
Someone's
see
calling
a,
me here.
a revisit, and I hope we don't, but to 7,200, just off volatility and speculation. But when you look at the grand scheme of things from a daily time frame, it still looks pretty bearish. This just might be a reaction to the impeachment inquiry. Maybe some consolidation here before we continue going lower. But we should just went to 6,000 already. Come on, stop playing games. XTZ USD, otherwise known as
Stop
Tezos.
playing games. Nice.
It's a Coinbase. Nice. So, man, crypto is so easy to analyze technically. It's ridiculous. So Tezos, first idea that I published and talked about was going to this blue region, and we went pretty damn close. We touched it and then kind of reverted back. $1.86 to $1.90. We got that, and then during yesterday's session, we had this kind of bearish reaction, and I expected us to go to $1.50 on a nice psychological level. So you can see by the arrow, and we went there, and we're currently consolidating. And so I told you guys at this point you gotta look for maybe some sort of bearish reaction. So this is a nice, pretty good. I keep saying bearish, bullish, a nice bullish reaction. So this is a nice bullish hammer, but we do want some sort of bullish engulfing counter to kind of just drive prices back up. Any bearish closure below this level, and we're headed probably back down to $1.25-ish. And once again, you can see we wicked there, but we did not get that closure, and that's always important. So, pretty dope Tezos. And this price action strategy works for any sort of market,
It's true.
in my opinion.
It's true.
Some better than others. And if you see crypto, we don't read any crypto fundamentals, and we've been pretty much spot on since we started looking at them. That's the type of clarity you're gonna get, and it's great. So.
Perfect.
Quick peek at the chat. I went long on KIN. Nice. You made $35. That is dope. Amazing. Nice. I love to see that. It just made my day. I think we're all fine and dandy. Now I guess I'll kind of transition into talking about the topic of the day, quote unquote. And
Topic of the day.
Yes, 1 second, guys.
Welcome
It's
to
that time of
RP's
the year.
topic of the day. this music on here. See, making it engaging for you. RP's on a short little break, I guess. Don't worry, he'll be back.
Okay.
Oh, he's back.
Yeah, so let's go to Euro USD.
Euro USD.
And
now we're following along.
Actually, I'll redraw the actual trend line. I'm gonna remove these arrows. But damn, nice. You made 35 bucks off CAD yen. That's amazing. I'm very happy for you. So how do you trade a trend line break, and how do you get a setup out of it and avoid being faked out? So trend line breaks are pretty nice tools that people use to trade, and we use them from time to time in our live sessions and our strategy. And so there are ways that you can get faked out and get burnt. It's obviously done by a lot of novice traders, but there is one method to kind of limit that and get the best possible trade on a trend line break. So first thing you need to do is obviously get your pair in mind. We already have our levels drawn out perfectly, and now we're going to go to the time frame where we want to draw the trend line. So on the 4 hour, we see an opportunity to draw a trend line, and trend line is drawn by connecting a series of wicks. Usually more than 2. Ideally, you want 3. Okay, so we can see we have a nice first touch, second touch, third touch, and Euro has recently come off resistance, printing an evening star or a shooting star, and has officially broke out of resistance on the 4 hour time frame. You can see
nice.
Clear breakout of the trend.
See that clear break of the trend?
Candle a few minutes ago, maybe 20 minutes ago,
nice.
was actually more bullish. So it was actually, the body was probably up around here. And so when it comes to trend line breaks, the best way to kind of avoid getting faked out, because what could happen is you could have a break of the trend line and then a candle come up and immediately close back within the trend line. And what this will do is, on the higher time frame, it will just look like that price respected the trend line. But when you go to the smaller time frames, you'll see that price actually broke out, but buyers bought it back in. So for example, in the downtrend, sellers broke it down, buyers bought it back in, and we might go higher. So the best way to avoid this is not to trade the initial break, is to actually trade the break, retest, and rejection of that level, and use that with confluences like support and resistance and swing lows, and you're in business. So for Euro USD, for example, what you want to do first off is identify the lows of the trend. So this is our uptrend. This was our first low right here. We have a support pretty close to that, so this will be our final take profit. The next low is over here, so this would be one of our take profit levels right here. And you can also adjust these to closer levels of activity, and we'll do that after. And then the next touch was somewhere around here, right? And you can see a lot of activity, so that's a good level. So perfect. Now we have our 3 touches of the trend line, 1, 2, 3, and then we have our break. Now the next thing we want to do is get another confirmation that we're going lower, because I know you probably seen it many times where you have a break of a trend line, it consolidates and then continues on its trend up. And the reason why is trend lines are also based on subjectivity. So if you ever noticed, you can sometimes draw a trend line like this, and then sometimes like this, extended out as price moves a little bit downward, but it's still an uptrend. So the best way to avoid that is to get a clear shift in a trend. And one of the best ways to do that is identify the previous significant low of the trend. So you can see our lower high here, our higher high, higher low, higher high, and then we had a higher low in and around this area, which we're currently stalling at. And so this is a level we gotta make sure we close below in a bearish manner. And you can see we also have this previous low here. So just to kind of make these 2 lows into one level, I'm just gonna move this horizontal array up to capture both, because you can see our lows are pretty close, and if you look to the left, there was also some nice resistance. Perfect. So now how do I not get stopped out or faked out on this trade. Well, currently we are retesting this trend line, and it's looking pretty good. Sellers are driving price down. The next candle we want it to close bearish below this level. We want it to close bearish below 111,000. Okay, 1.11,000, a nice psychological level, and a bearish closure is a candle like this. A candle like this. You know,
Alright, folks.